Hey folks, how's it going today? Today we're going to be looking at a one-stop shop Google Sheets calculator that looks at how you can live off dividends. How can you set up your life just to purely live on dividends with the focal ETF being QQQI and other NEOS funds, okay? So I built a Google Sheets for you. It's a one-stop shop. It's very simple to use. Let's jump right into it. Okay, guys, we are here at the one-stop shop, Google Sheets. This sheet will be available via the Patreon. So if you want to join the Patreon, this would be available to all paid members. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed and to who folks have pledged their support to the Patreon. I really can't thank you enough. And I hope I'm going to be providing you great value with this program. We have two different tiers. We have a $5 tier and a $15 tier. $15 gets you one-on-one coaching. $5 gets you access to all the calculators. Okay, so let's jump right in and focus on our calculator here and just really look at what it will take for us to map out a strategy to help you live off dividends, okay? And this is like an annual strategy. It might be dynamic. It might change over time. But the first step, and I outlined it with 3 key steps, just simple 3 steps. Look at step number 1 right here, okay? Step number 1 is to outline your monthly and annual expenses. That's super critical. Outline your annual and monthly expenses. Okay, so for housing, let's assume with rent, utilities, insurance, we have $3,000. Okay, and again, you're gonna adjust this as you see fit. Okay, transportation, your car payment, your gas, your public transport, $750. Food, dining out, etc., $1,000. Maybe you need to increase this. Maybe you need to bring it down. You have to do this based on your preferences and your lifestyle, okay? Health insurance, health, medical, $150. Personal lifestyle, clothing, hobby subscriptions, $450. Home goods and miscellaneous, $250. And entertainment and travel, $750. We have to travel. We have to have some fun in life. Life is not all about money. It's about having a good time. Okay, so with that, our total monthly expenditure here that we've outlined for this example is $6,350 for an annual total of $76,000. Now, of course, every year this would have to get adjusted by inflation. And so we can map out some strategies to help with the dividend income and how to map it against inflation. But for now, we're trying to keep it very simple, and we're just going to focus on assuming this is going to be a static cost for now. Okay, so we know now that we need $6,000 and $350 to live on per month. Okay, so now let's map out how much we need to invest. How much do we need to invest to get there? Okay, and this calculator here will get us there. All right, so everything has been set up pretty much for you. All you need to do is put in a number here. So let's say you have 400K to invest. That's not 4 million, let's just say 400K. Okay, 400K to invest, and then I've put out here allocations for you. Let me just organize this real quick. I've put out here allocations for you, okay? So with QQQI, SPYI, and BTCI, these are the 3 core covered call, high income investments that I've selected for this portfolio, for this plan. I've allocated percentages to each, right? We're going to allocate 50% of the 400K to QQQI, 20% of the 400K to SPYI rather, and 30% to BTCI. Okay, and that will then spit out the exact amount you need. It'll allocate per the percentage for that individual ETF, and then based on its annual yield, it will then spit out an annual income amount. And then we've calculated also the monthly income. All right, so we can see in this example, I put down the amount to invest, 400K. Okay, and I have these allocations, and you can change your allocations here. Maybe you want to do 40% BTCI if you are a Bitcoin bull, but remember it has to equal 100% here. Okay, so we have our allocations here: 40%, 40%, 20%. Typically, people like more QQQI and are not as comfortable doing too much BTCI, so we'll drop that down a bit. All right, and so we can see here that on step 2, we have a total monthly income of $5,600. I'm going to also calculate over our annual income, which in this case is $68,000, right? And going over to step 3, it just looks at the total monthly cash flow. You can see that we are below. We are negative, right? Our monthly expenses were $6,350 and our monthly income is only $5,600, right? So we're negative $600, $700 in terms of cash flow. We need to change that. So what needs to change, right? So ultimately, there's a couple different things you can do, right? You can either allocate more funds to the higher yielded products, the higher yielded ETFs, and bring this down, right? And that gets us closer to break even. Or you simply have to invest more money. So let's say we're going to invest now $450K in total into this program, right? So when we're investing $450K, now we can see here a positive cash flow return, okay? And that's also with a high allocation to BTCI, And you might not want to have such a high allocation of BTCI. Maybe you want, again, 30% allocation to BTCI, 50% allocation to QQQI. Okay, so that right there, this structure here gets you right down to break even, So you'll need 450K allocated to these products, QQQI, SPYI, and BTCI with these percentages. And, again, it's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. And this is not financial advice. It's for educational purposes only. But on paper, according to historical, data that we have, you will yield right around $6,375 with this plan and a $25 cash flow. Now, you don't want that's a little bit tight in terms of wiggle room there. You want to be probably $1,000 plus in terms of cash flow, right? You want to be $1,000 above. So it's either you're reducing your expenses, or simply put, you have to add in more funds into this program, right? Maybe you have 550K to work with, or 500K to work with. Let's change it to like 530K. All right. So now we have cash flow of $1,000 a month incremental, and this is a good thing because what we want to do with this is either reinvest this into the QQQIs of the world or the SPYIs, or invest it in another growth index fund, because that will help you now with the inflation adjustment, okay? Because what's going to happen is costs are going to go up, right? 2 to 3% per year, right? So we need to account for that by adding in more funds into these assets, into the ETFs. So what I would be doing is taking the $1,000 and reinvesting it into these products. That way it continues to yield you more money over time, and it's going to help grow the assets over time. So you're going to get a bit of growth with its capital appreciation, and you're going to get a stronger income payout because it's going to be yielding on a higher base, a higher cost basis. Okay, so this is my snapshot, one-stop shop on how I would build out an investment plan using dividend funds that are high yielding towards living free, living without needing a job potentially, and really living a fire lifestyle. And again, this doesn't mean you can't stop working. This doesn't mean you have to give up any of your day jobs. This just means this gives you that peace of mind that, hey, I could allocate 500K of my maybe $1 million in savings, if we have so much, to this strategy, and we can sustain. If a rainy day comes, I can pivot into this strategy and sustain this income while growing my assets and maintaining the base and growing the assets. So this gives you maybe some peace of mind, some reassurance, and some confidence that, hey, I can now live if I have these assets and have them pay me out an income and live potentially without working. So I'd love to get your perspective on this. Okay, guys, what did you think about this sheet? Did you like it? Do you want to see different optimizations with it? It will be posted to the Patreon community for paid members, so please check out the Patreon. Outside of that, guys, comment, subscribe. You know what to do.